Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, we are talking about the new Primal Lord, the Shellbrute, which is, I believe at the time I uploaded, just coming out on the global version. I'm over here on my test server. I want to talk about some teams you can use. Just note, these things always evolve over time on what your best team is, I find, depending on your level. Now, that's for free-to-play perspective. Sometimes maybe Wales, you've got enough things built that things instantly work. I want to look at a couple teams. We'll go look at Pridewin as well and talk to you about how this team only just now started working for me personally, and why that is. So let's jump over to Pridewin quickly and take a look. Now, massive shout out to Pridewin, also massive shout out to Analytica, and I will leave a link to both of these in the description as well, so you guys can go show some love. But basically, this is one of the teams that I am using currently, and it's using Freyesto, Smokey, Iron, Bryon, and Lily May. Now, when we bounce back into the fight, the reason Freyesto is so strong in this battle is because when we look at what the boss does, he does the gulp. So he's gonna eat up one of your heroes. So the fact that we can use Freyesto to use up two of those gulps is fantastic. Now, the next thing he does, that if there's no enemies nearby, he's gonna no, that's the damage one. He's gonna open his mouth and draw all enemies close if there's no one within melee range. So you always want to have someone within melee range, and that's why Freyesto is so powerful, because he can take up two of the gulps. And then we also have Iron in this one as one to make up for the wilder bonus, so that we can get the wilder bonus at the back. 2, to be another melee unit, so you always have someone in melee range. And then 3, he has the magic Death Shred, which is going to benefit both Lily May and Bryon in this team. Now, I'll talk about the Bryon in a sec, but let's just jump back quickly. That's like the core reason of why this team synergizes so well. Let's jump back over to here and take a look at it. And as you can see, so Lily May is your main carry. She's your main damage dealer. Bryon is the secondary carry. However, the other job that Bryon serves is the fact that he has a 300% multiplier, because the boss is going to get a shield and you've got to hit him with a 300 base multiplier to get rid of it, and that's what his ult is doing over here. I've heard some people say that Paris is not bad if you have her built up. I do not have her built up, so Bryon works better for me personally, and so that is his other purpose. For me, it's more about the shield breaking capacity. And then Smokey, he's to heal and also deal damage once he gets to his third ult if you have his EX. And that is the basic principle of this team and the way it functions. Now, just note, this team used to not work for me. As you can see, my free-to-play account over here on the test server, I'm a bit behind on levels. I went on holidays around the start of the season, which made me lose track of levels with the rest of the field. But essentially, because I was a bit lower level and my Bryon was much lower ascension, he was dying to the first ult of the boss when he does the AoE, and so I couldn't actually use this team. It wouldn't function for me. So just keep that in mind. If you are a bit lower level, if you have lower investments, you might have to juggle things around, and I'll talk about that in a sec when we go back over here to Pridewin and take a look at the other team we can use, which is the Mauler based team. So once again, this one is making use of the Freyesto to once again be double eaten. And then we got Mikola in there for, once again, the support aspect, but also another melee target. And then we have the 2 damage dealers of the Lily May and the Odie. And then we also have the Smokey in there, once again, for the same purpose, healing damage. Now with this one, because we're running the Mauler bonus, you'll be teleporting them next to the enemy, so you'll always be there anyway. But they do get the extra protection from that bonus. As you can see, this time you genuinely have Lily May as the main carry, Odie as the secondary carry. Now this team I found struggles to break that shield. I'm still not 100% certain on the complete function, but I think this team just has enough pressure. If we go over here and we take a look at the Lily May as well, if I jump back over here, you can see she comes close, but she doesn't have that increases Lily May's damage dealt to them by the 400%. So this skill cannot interrupt boss enemies. However, she does get this. So she is that other breaking of the shield. However, the problem with that is it's only when the boss goes to ult, so you can't reliably keep it down. And then, like I said, with the Bryon comp, you've got more reliability behind that, because no one else in the other team, which is this one, has that functionality. So you're relying on the Lily May, and then you're just relying on, honestly, a lot of buffing and a lot of damage out of this team. Just note, with this team, this may still not be enough for you. For me, like I actually couldn't get my Makola to work because she's not beefed up enough, and I was having to use my Coco in the spot of Makola just so that I could survive because Makola was actually just getting clapped. So depending on your account, your investments and stuff like that, you may need to shuffle things around. But these are the core principles. Freyesto is OP because he takes up 2 of the gulp spots. So that is definitely something, if you have a Freyesto, go ahead and use him even at 1 copy. Absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, you are going to be looking at using like your Thorin and probably having to have more melee capacity. But once again, if you don't have overly melee, you can run that Muller comp, get everyone in there, and then use things like Coco to help you survive. Obviously, your damage is not going to be as high, but it will give you some avenue to try and get the best damage that you can get. Because once again, this one is one of those bosses where it's very account dependent. But this is the kind of thing, and I'll show you guys this run. Like I said, this one works the best for me. You'll see my Brian here. So the boss has got his shield up. Is the boss's shield up? I didn't see. Just wait for it. We'll get. There's the boss's shield there. So there you go. The shield is up, and boom, it's already going to be broken there. And now we're dealing damage again. So having the Lily May and the Brian, I do really like for clapping the shield. But that first ult that he did, straight after my Lily May did the interrupt hit, that used to kill my Brian when I was sort of 10, 20 levels lower. So I couldn't use this team. But now I've entered the phase where now it does. You can see it actually killed the Brian on the second ult there. Now on my best run, it doesn't kill Brian. And that's the perfect example that I wanted to show you guys, where even though these strats are really good, as a free-to-play, you've just got to kind of play around what you have and what you have accessibility to and see what will do the best damage. Now, you try these type of best in slot teams, but just note, if stuff like that is dying too quick, then you're just going to have to adjust what you're doing with your team and try and find what works for you, whether that's bringing more survivability. Like I mentioned, I use Coco. Like this will be completely unranked because the damage was that bad. But what you need to do is just adjust it for what you actually have. Always take a look at these things, and I'll update you guys if there is any new teams that come to light that are really good in this boss. But just look at what you have, look at what's meta, and look at what you're actually missing in your team to go ahead and get the kind of best damage you can deal. And unfortunately, there's no test mode in these things, so you've just got to fully commit to whatever you're doing, and you only get to do it 3 times per day. So that is where looking at community, massive shout out to once again to Pridewin, to Analytica, having these type of resources where people are testing things and giving you what's working for them, and you know, kind of finding what the quote unquote meta is fantastic. But also look at what other people are doing outside of the core meta, so that you can maybe get some other ideas. Because like I said, depending on your account, depending on your levels, depending on your investment, whether it be your charms also have a big impact. The one thing I would say is don't go rushing out and go, oh, Brian's good in this one and mine's just dying. I need to go get all my dupes, like put him on my wish list and dump every summon in to try and get the Brian copies so that I can do better in this boss. That is not what this is. Like I said, I'm using my 1 copy Brian. I'm using my 1 copy Freyesto. The best I get is the best I get, and I ain't stressing past that. Yes, you do get some experience from each defeat and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, the rewards in this thing aren't enough to warrant me just like going, okay, I'm going against the core units that I'm trying to build, and I'm just building whatever is working in this. I don't think that is the space you should get into. Just look at it, try and make the best team from what you actually have, and go with that. And that would be my advice in this one. But once again, that is a look at the teams. Massive, massive shout out over here to Pridewin. 2 teams that are definitely viable depending on where your account's at. Hopefully you guys can get some damage in. Just note, day 1, it's for free to play, especially like day 1 on test server free to play. That was a horrible time for me. So best of luck with your damage rankings in this one. Go get yourself some extra XP and dust and help live along the way. And like I said, if you don't have Freyesto, I'd probably be going the Mauler route so that you can get the melee ranged units, and just running like a Thorin or something like that would be my ploy. But once again, it's going to be account specific and see how you go. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.